That's it! Take a load of my pipstick! What? That's not fair, come on!
After George Miller found fame on YouTube as Filthy Frank with his omniverse of colorful characters and weird gross out shock comedy.
It's very hard to swallow, dude. I'll tell you that.
The texture's pretty good.
After spawning a massive meme with his video, Do the Harlem Shake. After Pink Guy charted the Billboard 200 with his album Pink Season.
Shut the f*** up. You're a f***ing c***.
After he reintroduced himself to the world as JOJI in 2014 and officially ended his comedy career in 2017.
Some people want me to do this, some people want me to do that. And maybe I want to do this, you know. The
artist formerly known as Filthy Frank has officially entered a new phase of his career as an entertainer. Unlike the characters he portrayed on the TV Filthy Frank and Disaster's Music YouTube channels, JOJI isn't an alter ego, it's the real George Miller. Okay, not the like Walking Dead George, him, like this guy.
If you have a problem with it, there's a thing called the
Hello, my child.
While he may have first found fame with bizarre stunts and politically incorrect jokes, his connection to music goes way back. Sure, his YouTube fans may be disappointed to say goodbye to Filthy Frank and Pink Guy, but it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. He first hinted at a departure when he reintroduced his real self to his fans in a since deleted video on Disaster Music.
People not knowing that I existed and that it was just these guys really gave me a lot of stress.
Plus, you gotta imagine that YouTube's stricter and stricter content policies left pretty much all of his videos demonetized. But according to JOJI, that isn't why he's moved on.
The reason I made the transition was because there was an overwhelming support and almost demand. They were stopping me to tell me that I was wasting my time and my abilities, I guess. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm not that fucking...
On top of that, George has said he's tired of making Filthy Frank content, and his ongoing health problems have made it impossible to continue. But at the end of Filthy Frank's career is by no means the end of George Miller's. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of George Miller after his comedy YouTube career, here for you on After They Were Filthy Frank. Now, this is the first video in this series, but I'll be sure to do a video on anyone else who becomes famous after being Filthy Frank. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when we did the original Filthy Frank Before Their Famous video, I heard through the grapevine that we really messed it up. Well, I've since taken that video down and I worked on this one for about a week, so I'm hoping no shots are fired. Hashtag FatGod.
Oh no, no, it's over. No.
Hey guys. I'm back.
JOJI was born George Miller in Osaka, Japan on September 18th, 1993. At least that's the best guess we have from the few sources that have published his basic biographical information. An article about the release of JOJI's music video, Will He, from the website BroadwayWorld.com, claimed he was born in Osaka, while the birthday we listed comes from the website FamousBirthdays.com. They listed his birth year as 1992, but that didn't quite check out. In a now deleted video from May of 2014, he said he was 20 years old, plus he graduated high school in 2012, so 1993 is more likely, you know, what it is. But with this guy, who knows? For most of his career, he's been extremely secretive about his personal life because of the controversial nature of his content.
How much? So, how much?
Give me that pussy!
Yeah, how much for the girl? No, not the 12-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that checks out. But there are a few things we know. He's mentioned the fact that he's half Australian and half Japanese. He also grew up in Japan and speaks the language fluently. And despite first finding fame as Filthy Frank, his passion was always for music.
I grew up listening to old school like boom bap with kind of that lo-fi sound. Because I wanted to hear more of that sound mixed with modern stuff, I started getting into listening to a lot of lo-fi modern hip-hop and beats on SoundCloud, which really kind of opened the door for me.
In fact, he says he first started on YouTube to ultimately launch a music career.
And I just started the YouTube channel to kind of bump my music. but then the Filthy Frank stuff and the Pink Eye stuff ended up getting way bigger than I thought, so I had to kind of roll with it.
JOJI created the Disaster Music channel on June 15, 2008 when he was just 14 years old. His first video was called Little John Falls Off a Table. More strange clips would follow over the next couple of years, culminating in a video called Never Trust a Horse dropped in August of 2009. After a 2-year break, JOJI released a video called Filthy Shit, which featured the first appearance of Filthy Frank.
When I got back to the toilet, I realized that I was dripping shit. I was dripping shit from my ass!
Pink Eye would come a little later, first appearing in a video called Me Singing Adele in February of 2012. During all this, JOJI was in high school. He attended Canadian Academy, an independent international school located in Kobe, Japan. He graduated in 2012. How do we know this? Well, he was pictured in a publication put out by the school. How the hell do I find this stuff? After graduating high school, JOJI moved to the United States where he continued his education as a college student. During this time, JOJI was clearly living in New York City as revealed by his brief foray into vlogging. That right there is a shot taken on a New York subway car. Notice the map of NYC behind the older gentleman. And there's another NY staple, the eccentric street performer known as Michael Silver. Fortunately, the Canadian Academy publication that put out George's graduation photo also listed all the schools their graduates were going to attend. Of those schools listed, only 2 were New York schools. So JOJI attended either the Parsons School of Design or the New York Institute of Technology in Manhattan. While JOJI definitely had a serious fan base by this time, the world at large wouldn't feel the full force of his creative might until February of 2013 when he spawned the year's most popular meme with this video. Soon corporations were doing the Harlem Shake, probably unaware that the meme's creator wasn't exactly brand friendly. The meme was so popular that it gave the song's artist, Bauer, his first and so far only #1 single on Billboard. Also in February of 2013, JOJI created TV Filthy Frank channel, which would go on to eclipse Disaster Music, becoming his main channel. By 2017, he had over 4 million subscribers, and at the time of this recording, it's at over 5.6 million. And that's no surprise, considering the type of content he was putting out.
And so we got the quesadilla. Slowly put our little friend into the quesadilla.
But behind the crude, obnoxious persona, the real George was a soft-spoken college student who did much to help other up-and-coming YouTubers like iDubbbz TV and H3H3, and they have nothing but kind words to say about him.
He was there when no one else was, man.
Yeah.
Like, George is one of the sweetest and most genuine guys.
Yeah.
And he's a huge boon to helping us. And I'd suck his I have.
Yeah.
People don't talk about that, but he's on drugs a lot. Meth.
People are gonna believe
Meth.
you.
He does meth a lot. It's a bad thing.
Well, they should believe it because it's true.
As early as 2014, there were hints that there was tension between George's on-screen persona and the real him, as he reintroduced the real JOJI on the Disaster Music channel.
I have not been well the last couple months. Long story short, I was born with this, but I was recently diagnosed with a brain condition that ironically gives me seizures. A lot of the seizures are actually induced by stress, which unfortunately a lot of it comes from running this show.
JOJI would also create a channel called JOJI Vlogs, where he did just that. Vlog, not as Filthy Frank or Pig Guy, but as himself. But it wouldn't be long before he would give up on this and delete all the JOJI content across his channels. If you check out the fan-created Filthy Frank wiki under George JOJI Miller, well, the page reads, JOJI is no longer a supported character on the Filthy Frank show, RIP 2014 to 2014. He was sacrificed to Chin Chin by his autistic fanbase. Despite realizing that his true self could not coexist with the Filthy Frank universe, he found a way of putting his passion for music into that world. After all, he already had a musical character in Pink Guy. He may not have been the best singer when he was first introduced, but by 2013 he was already doing pretty sophisticated music videos, like this one called Ain't Shit Ukulele Cover.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Lick on these and suck the
Great effort was put into his Pink Eye music videos with songs like Rice Balls, STFU, and Kill Yourself, becoming amongst the most popular on the Filthy Frank channel.
Kill yourself. Please, please kill yourself.
In 2014, he dropped his first Pink Eye mixtape, featuring 24 songs as a digital download. The whole thing was also uploaded to his main channel, receiving 11 million views. But Pink Eye wouldn't really make waves until 2017's Pink Season. Though the mixtape received fewer total views, so far 6.5 million, it was his first release on platforms like Spotify and iTunes. Pink Season debuted at number 2 on the iTunes chart and climbed to a peak position of 70 on the Billboard 200 and 9 on the Billboard's R&B hip-hop albums chart. The mainstream music world was in shock that this YouTube maniac was beating out artists like Prince, Yo Gotti, and The Weeknd. His own career. JOJI had a couple low-profile features, appearing on Bizaiju by Shamana and Normatic by Higher Brothers. He also appeared on RAR by Tommy Cash. He also put out a couple non-album singles like Hesitate and Visa. In collaboration with a ton of other artists, JOJI hooked up with Rich Brian's label 88 Rising and put out his debut EP In Tongues on November 3rd, 2017. It included singles like Window, Demons, and Will He. EP charted, hitting 58 on the Billboard 200 and 28 on the R&B hip-hop chart. Suddenly, JOJI wasn't a weirdo outsider anymore. He was being treated like any other mainstream artist, getting on interviews with Pigeons and Planes, Billboard, Hot Ones, Open Space, and Genius.
Basically, this whole song is about cheating and trying to cover it up.
In his December 7th interview with Billboard, JOJI made it pretty clear that he was done with Filthy Frank content, but he would save the official announcement for his Twitter. He tweeted, "This is old news, but I figured I'd give an official statement. Thank you for your understanding and God bless." The statement read, "Although I previously mentioned through Billboard, I believe an official statement as to why I am now done with comedy is owed to my former fan base, of which I'm extremely grateful for. And while it genuinely pains me to express this, I do hope that the reason below may provide some insight into my decision. Unfortunately, I no longer enjoy producing that content. Several serious health concerns, including but not limited to throat tissue damage and neurological conditions that I prefer not to get into, well, this decision is final. I really can't express just how grateful I am to you all, nor will I ever forget the relationship that we had together. Moving forward, it is up to you whether you'd like to join or not. In any event, I will strive to continue creating and developing projects I am passionate about and hope you'll succeed in doing the same. JOJI." The neurological issues are of course not a surprise to longtime fans, as he mentioned back in 2014 that he discovered that he was born with a neurological condition that ironically causes seizures.
We thought it was so funny doing these fake seizures, and now some call it bad luck, some call it karma.
While it may be sad for some fans that Filthy Frank is no more, JOJI is now doing what he always wanted to. Already in 2018, he's teamed up with Chris Wu, Bauer, Trippie Redd, and Rich Brian, putting out the song 18.